Hello guys, we are working on a Honde Dio engine. We're doing the jets on it. Believe it or not doing these will blow up your engine. Hello guys, and welcome to paradise. In today's video, we're jetting a Honde Dio. Yes, it looks like a Honda Spree, but it does have a Honde Dio engine on it. Honde Dio engine on a Spree, one of the coolest mods in the history of scooters. We're gonna jet this girl. Let's get started right away. Okay, so you may ask yourself, why do I even need to change a jet inside of the carburetor? Well, let me tell you, anytime that you put a big bore kit on one of these, what ends up happening is they start running lean, which means they're not getting enough fuel. And when you're not getting enough fuel, what ends up happening, guys, is the motor doesn't get enough oil, and your kit's only gonna last you a year or two. What you gotta do is you have to jet it right. There is quite the process to doing this. You start off with, on a 70cc kit, let's say 75, 10% bigger, 8% bigger, around there, than the original one. So let me show you how that works. When you take your original jet out of your carb, so there it is, guys. And the Honde Dio came with a few different carbs. Here's the better carb of the two, and some of them have these kind of jets. Here's the part number in case you're interested. Got these from Scooter Tuning. In our case, those are the wrong ones. In our case, we're using these ones. Here's the part number, it's the bottom number there. That's the ones for this carburetor for the Honde Dio. Okay guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is take this bottom piece off. Let's do that right now. Okay, there it is taken off. See, there's two jets on here. This jet here on the left, that is your idle jet. So when you have like a 70, 80cc kit, you don't touch that, you just leave it the way it is. You don't need to change it. But your main jet, so this is like full throttle, half throttle, all that beautiful stuff. So this one you need to change. So right here, so you just unscrew this with a screwdriver. I've already loosened it. See, and it comes out. And on every single jet, there's a little number. So there it is. It says 75 on it. There's like a star, which is, I think, the brand name of the carburetor. 75A. So this is a 75. So that hole is a 75. So what we gotta do is ask Siri, hey Google, what's 75 plus 10%?
The answer is 82.5.
82.5, guys. So I mean, it's basically in between 82 and 84. So we're gonna put the 82 on because I do have the original air box, which restricts the air a little bit. And I have the original exhaust. So I'm thinking 84 would be too much fuel, 82 still might be too much. We'll see once we put it on. That's the thing about jetting. You have to keep trying different jets, but I'm gonna say 82. We're gonna put on the 82 jet. So let's pull this out of here. Okay guys, so there you go. As you can see, they all have a number on them. That one says 82. So this is our 82 jet. So that hole inside of it is a little bit bigger than this original one here. See, just a tiny bit, microscopic amount. That will give it more fuel, more oil, guys. You know, if you're mixing your oil into your fuel and got rid of the pump, which is a good idea when you're doing any kind of big bore kit, because those pumps, honestly, they just can't keep up when the thing's spinning twice as fast. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what we're gonna do now is put this in. So yeah, that just goes in there, and then we're just gonna tighten it with a flat screwdriver. No big deal. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the bike, put everything together, guys. We're gonna take it for a spin, and I'll show you how you can tell if your bike is running too rich or too lean. And remember, when you're injecting oil and gas together, you're always better off to run rich. If you run rich, everything gets lubricated nice. If you run, lean, which is like not that much fuel, all it takes is one drive to overheat it, and you're done. You're gonna have to rebuild it. So, okay, I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, guys, I got this all put together. So the problem is when a bike is running lean, so not enough fuel and oil, you won't really know it. It will run good. That's kind of the problem with it. So what you want to do is you're always on a two-stroke, you're always better off running rich. So what you want to do is you basically want to run it as rich as possible, as long as it runs good. So like we're gonna go up, to 10%, run it, and then if it runs really good and everything's fine, then that's good. But if it's sputtering and not really, like hesitating and that kind of stuff, then chances are you're running rich. When you go up 10%. So then what you have to do is, I'll show you some tests. Let me put it on. We'll go for a drive, and then I'll tell you what you got to do. Okay, so there it is, all put on. So now you have to put your airbox on. All these tests have to be performed in a way. So the way you're gonna run your bike permanently is the way you jet your bike. Because if you run it like this with no airbox, you're not gonna jet it right. It needs the airbox on, or whatever kind of filter you got. You should have an airbox though, guys, if you want your scooter to last. Those little cheap see-through filters, they blow motors up like you wouldn't believe. Okay, I'm gonna put that on. All right, let's start her up and go for a spin. Okay, so now before you do anything, you gotta get this engine basically at operating temperature. So we're gonna do that, drive it around, and then I'll show you what to do to determine if it's running good, if it's getting the right amount of fuel. All right, guys. Okay, guys, so I got this thing about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of driving. It's perfectly warm. So what you want to do is on the carburetor, there's two little bolts, as you can see. So this one here, what you do is you turn it all the way in, right? So you turn it all the way in like that. See, that's all the way. And what you want to do is you want to play around with it. So it's all the way turned in. So you want to turn it back half of a turn, right? And that's where you start. And then what you do is you take it for a drive, and then you turn it a little bit more, and you take it for a drive, and you turn it a little bit more, and you take it for a drive, and you turn it a little bit more. And you're going to keep doing that till you get it running perfect. So in our case, we got one full turn back. It's running perfect right there. And this one here, this one will just adjust the idle. So like if you change this, it might start to idle down when you're just sitting there. So then you would just turn it a little bit in to give it a little bit more idle, or take it down to give it a little bit less idle. So that's what this one does. And this one kind of fine tunes the idle jet and how much fuel you're getting, so you can figure out exactly what you got to do, guys. So that's how you do that. In our case, it's a whole turn back. The thing runs incredible. It runs perfect. So we're going to leave it with the jet that it has. The only other thing I want to mention is how you mix your fuel. So in our case, what we're going to do, guys, is we don't have the oil injector anymore. It has been removed. So if you don't have an oil injector, mix your fuel 35-to-1, and just, that's it. 35-to-1, mix it 35-to-1 always, and you'll never have any issues. And if you still have your fuel injection on here, fill up your fuel injection tank and mix your gas 50-to-1. So that way, if at any point the pump's not keeping up, it should still equal out to between 25 and 35-to-1 if you still have a pump. But whatever you do, don't just put straight gas in with just the pump when you have a big bore kit with a bigger jet and everything. Those pumps just can't keep up when you have a big bore kit on one of these scooters. So that's my advice to you guys. So if you do all that and it runs good, then you're golden. And if it's sputtering and hesitating, but you got to let the engine warm up, then what you would do is you would take it apart and you would go one jet smaller. So like an 80, right? And then try it all again. And then do the exact same thing. And then try a 78, whatever, right? Keep going down until you get the right amount. And another test you can do, if it's running really, really rich, for example, and it's sputtering in that, if you pull the air box off and then it runs perfect, then that tells you right there that it's running rich, too much fuel. So that's how you do that. All right, guys, good luck with your projects. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna put this thing together and go for a cruise into town. Make sure you subscribe and all that wonderful stuff. Hopefully this video helped you put a good jet, the proper jet on your bike. 10% bigger on this puppy right here. Oh yeah, and this is the setup that I have. So I got a TFC 78cc big bore kit. It's 48 millimeters, and then the crankshaft is 43.2 millimeters, which is just a little bit bigger than the original one, making for a total of 78 cc's. So that's when I went 10% higher. Original airbox, original exhaust, original carburetor. Good luck, guys. Hope this video helped you out. In our case, this thing is running perfectly.